What is the most dangerous trap that we have to face to stop us from training? The mental traps. You know, that day that you don't go to your training. You know that you should, but you won't. What happens? For me, the reality is this. The most important thing to avoid all the traps. We can face several traps. We are going to talk about them here. But the thing is this. The most important thing that you need to do is this. Avoid to think about going or not at the moment of the training. What you need to do is you need to have a conversation with yourself before you establish your routine. So, let me give you my example. I train every day, 2 times every day, 2 sessions every day, same time, same hours every day. 6:30 in the morning and 4 p.m. in the afternoon. All right. These are the 2 times. So I decided all of that um, before I start these routines. And I thought deeply. I thought about all that could go wrong, all the things that I need to do in other moments of the day before I establish the routine. Only then I set the times and the days that I was going to train. This is the most important thing because once you do that, you know that if you are not going in that day, you are doing something that is against what you establish for yourself. Because think about this. If you need to decide every day that you are going to go or not, the challenge that you are going to face is much harder. You know, sometimes you are going to struggle. So what I do is this. Once I establish the routine, what I do? I go to train every day, no matter what. Of course, there are days when something all of the sudden happens, sometimes an emergency, other things. I'm not talking about that. In those days, you are not going because you are going to resolve whatever you need to resolve. I'm not talking about this here. But you know what happens. What happens is this. Once you establish that and you are able to go and not to struggle, not to talk with yourself every day if you are going or not, what is going to happen is that you are going to go most of the days. Most days you are going to train. And because of that, in the days that you are not going, you are going to feel light. There is no pressure in these days because you know that the normal thing for you to do is to go for your training. So in the other days, everything is okay. There is no pressure on you from yourself on yourself because everything is okay because this is what you do. You go every day. Let me give you my example. For example, in a lot of months, uh, I train every day of the month, the 30 days of the month. So when something happens, when I get sick, for example, and I need to skip the training for 2 days, 3 days, I do that lightly. I do that in a very calm way because I know that it's the best for my body, and I am okay because as soon as the sickness is resolved, I'm going get back to the training again. But an important part is this. In the beginning of this process, you need to be patient with yourself. You know, maybe I am explaining to you what I do regularly, and you are going to think, oh no, this is too hard. But the problem is not this. It is too hard to start all of the sudden. But what you need to do, you need to be patient with yourself. You need to be patient with your flaws, with the days that you are not going in the beginning, because you need to strengthen the habit to go to train every day, or the days that you are going to establish for yourself twice a week, 3 times a week. No, doesn't matter. You need to be patient with yourself. You need to to be gentle with yourself. You need to think, oh no, I am human. This is okay. I'm not going today. There is no problem. I'm going to go in the next day. It's a process. You need to understand that. You need to understand that at the beginning of the process, you are going to suffer. This is normal. For example, when I start to run, the one of the trainings that I do every day is run or cycling. In one day I run, the other day I cycle, the other day I run, the other day I cycle. All right, you get it. When I started to run, I struggle. Only after 5 or 6 months, the habit was well established, and I was okay with that. Only after that time. So I needed to be patient with myself. Everything that we are going to do, we need to be patient with ourselves, patient with the process. It's like this that I'm doing right now here to to film the videos for the YouTube. What I'm doing right now is not normal for me. In many days I struggle, but I'm trying to do anyway. In the days that I can't push myself to do it, then I don't. And in the other day, the next day, I'm patient with myself and I say, oh no, today I'm going to do it. So now about the traps themselves. I believe that one of the biggest mistake is to believe that you need motivation. So here's the thing. Um, what you need is not motivation. What you need is to establish the habit. What you need is to have discipline. And to have discipline, you are going to need of these two characteristics that I told you before: being patient with yourself, being patient with the process, and form a routine little by little. Once that you talk about it with yourself and establish your standards before. Because if you depend on the motivation every day, a lot of days you are not going to go, because in a lot of days you are not motivated. Some of the days you are going to get motivated after you start to train. Other days you are going to do the entire training session without being motivated. You are going to be motivated you are not going to be motivated in that day. So different situations happen, and you need to understand all of them, and you need to really understand that you have to deal with that. You need to be disciplined. And when I talk about this, I'm not saying that the motivation is bad. It's not that. I enjoy when I train motivated. It's very good. Some moments when I am when I am motivated, I am hitting the heavy bag, and I am jumping all around. I am all around the place, sometimes even dancing like crazy, you know? But this happens maybe 2 times a week, 3 times a week. It's not every day. You know something? When I got divorced, I was struggling. I was suffering. The time for me was very, very bad. But what I did, I trained anyway. Why is that? I trained anyway because as I established the habit years in the past when I was young, because I started to train when I was 8 years old, I did that to survive. I did that to help me to sleep better and everything. But the discipline is what helped me, because every day that I was going to train, I was unmotivated. Maybe for 2 years during this period of the divorce, because as you know, is a very dark period in the life of anyone. So that's what happens with me. So another trap that is very important: comparing yourself to others, to other people. Compare yourself with someone who is stronger, with someone who is younger, with someone who is faster. My friend, if you do this, the only thing that is going to happen is that you are going to suffer. The only person that you need to compare yourself is with your previous version, the person that you were yesterday. That's the one that you need to compare yourself with. Because the thing is, in every situation, there are going to be people who are better than us. So we don't need that. We don't need to compare yourselves with other people, because we don't know each one of their history. The only history that we know is ours, that we know completely. Because you don't know that person that you are comparing yourself, he may be struggling in a different part of life that you are not struggling. He or she may be struggling with things that you resolve easily, that you resolve fast. So you don't need that. Don't do it with yourself. So, 2 traps here: discipline instead of motivation, and comparing yourself with other people. Other thing is this: expecting fast results. Let me tell you something. I am a, a runner, a bad runner. I don't run the way that people run on the internet. I run very slowly. I don't do it the best way that people do. And I'm okay with that, because I am getting the results little by little. I started to run less than 2 years ago, and I am a heavy guy. I weigh more than 9 kilos. So I believe that 9 kilos is something around um, more than 180 pounds. So I'm not a light guy. So another thing is this: my main training is the train of martial arts. So I'm going to run as a support for the training of martial arts. So because all of that, I'm not a good runner, and I am okay with that. For example, when you are learning martial arts, at the beginning of the process is very, very difficult. Each movement, it's difficult for the person that is starting to get the movement right. You know, each punch, each kick is difficult for you to get right, but there is no problem with that. Like that, what I said in the beginning of the video, you need to um, trust in the process. You need to be patient and trust in the process. For example, this kick that I am doing right now, I train this every day and I struggle to get it right every day because for me it's difficult. So that's why I do that. So we establish 3 traps here. Expecting fast results. No, don't do that. You need to trust in the process and be patient with yourself. Comparing yourself with other people. Don't do that either. Compare yourself just with you. That's the most important thing. And motivation or discipline. You need to be disciplined. And the days that you are that you are motivated, okay, but don't think about that. And the most important thing of all is this: establish with yourself before the training what you are going to do. Establish everything. And then, in every day, in the moment that you need to go, you just go. You don't think about going, you're not. The only thing that you are going to do is go to your training. All right, my friends, this is all that I have for you today. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.